just a little bit of lag before people they actually start tuning in. But that we've been not advertising it, but there we are, so you can see yourself. Hello, everyone. I don't have anyone watching quite yet, but okay, get ready to rock and roll. 3. Hello, everyone. This is Kinetic Chaos Business Podcast number 2. I am your host, Will, joined as always by my good friend, Wes.
All the way down here at the end?
He is down at the end today. We are actually at Wes's parents today as we are interviewing Brianne Johnson, the Director of Marketing at DeWils Industry. Brianne is, for those that aren't watching, sitting between us, and she is dressed as a cat today. Brianne, you want to tell us why that is?
I just took my children down to Boo Bash in downtown Camas, which is like a little festival.
It is a festival of children running around gathering as much sugar as possible, am I right?
Correct, and I left my husband with the sugar-loaded children.
Oh, wow. That's pretty nice of you, and I'm sure he's, how many kids do you have?
We got 2.
2 kids, boy, girl?
2 boys, 2 and 5.
Oh, wow.
We're in the thick of it right now.
You are absolutely in the thick of it. Wes is also. He's got 2 young ones. Mine are older. Mine are 19 and 12. So I'm a little past that, but I've been there. I've done that. I've done the Boo Bash many times, and it can be very interesting, especially when they've got the bag, with 862 Snickers. That's just a warm up for next week. That's what I love. It's just this. It's like, oh, hey, let's get pre-diabetes going a little bit before Halloween gets here, because then the parents can actually start, stealing all of the candy next week, right?
It is good, and it was a practice run for the 2-year-old, because my 2-year-old has never done this, and going through, at first, it took him a while to warm up, and then towards the end, he would just walk up with his bag open and say, candy?
What were they dressed as?
Cannon is a landscaper.
Oh, very nice.
So our neighbor owns Grow Outdoor Living, which is a big landscaping company,
yes,
and Cannon is like gunning to be an intern there or something. But Cannon's nice. 2, so he was he's a landscaper, and Hunter was a Pikachu.
A Pikachu, which is okay? I don't know much about Is there a lot of Pikachus, like different names, or is one of them named Pikachu?
I don't know.
Oh, well, hey,
it's yellow.
Yellow, okay.
I don't know what they.
I'm not on that. I got
They're cards that they do.
I know
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Okay.
Pokemon Go was a big thing. Is that part of that as well?
We're late to the game, so I don't know. But he was a Pikachu for Halloween.
That is not necessarily a bad thing. Well, it sounds like and you've already got the costume set up for next week, so you're ready to go. There's no having to run around on Halloween getting them set up and ready to go.
Right.
So that's very nice. Well, let's actually get into why we're sitting here, and that's as you can see if you're watching on camera, we are in a DeWils kitchen here at Wes's folks. Absolutely gorgeous. Are there any things that we want to highlight before we get into the questions that I noticed, the shiplap kitchen, which is, I almost said a bad word there, but that's one of those big highlight things right now, isn't it?
Yeah, everybody loves the shiplap, thanks to Joanna Gaines.
Yes.
But one main thing, I think it's just an incredible transformation in here. And I love that they did an off-white and the navy. So we're really seeing like the gray tones in the navy. It's kind of a collision of the trends right now because it's been gray for years. Mm-hmm. And we're really starting to see a transition away from gray towards more of the blue tones. So
very nice.
They hit both bases. They're going to be good for a while.
There you go.
Yeah, and if you didn't see this, sorry to interrupt.
That's right.
Wes and I saw this house before it made the transformation, and holy moly, they don't think they could make a TV show that makes it this stark of a contrast, because it was pretty crazy. So very nice.
Just to get a quick background about DeWils, can you give us a brief history of the company itself, and then like how many employees you have also, but just where the company started out at?
Yeah, so it started in 1959 in my grandfather's garage, Dwayne Wilson. And then our corporate offices are still in the same building. So we're in the process, in the same. So we have pictures of my grandmother and it was a dirt, parking lot, and it was back in the 50s. So we really stayed true to our roots on that. And then our factory now is a couple miles down the road. My father took it over in the 80s. Okay. And now I'm third generation. I've been there for about 10 years. I worked in an ad agency before that. And then they hired me on in-house. And we have, oh my gosh, how many? 200 employees probably?
Wow. Wow.
I think so.
That is incredible to go from a garage to 200 employees.
Yeah.
That is very
And
nice.
we sell, a lot of people don't know, they think that everything's local. And about 4% of our business is local. The rest is international and national. We have dealers all over the country. We have a showroom in downtown Tokyo. We're all through Canada, Bermuda. So it's everywhere.
Because that was going to be my question.
Yeah, that was you segued right into the second question, because that's exactly what we were going to ask you.
How far is your reach besides Tokyo? Do you have anything in Europe, anything like that?
Nothing in Europe. Through Canada, one of our biggest markets is Hawaii.
Really?
Alaska. Really big on the East Coast again, kind of that New York, New England area. And then, of course, up and down the West Coast, California, Oregon, Washington are always good.
Very nice. That sounds like you guys that's one hell of a reach.
Yeah, we sell through dealerships, so we don't actually sell direct.
Oh, okay.
Other people carry our line. We offer training classes, and people come to our corporate facility for training. About every 6 weeks, we'll have about 20 people come in, and they stay for the week and learn how to design our product and how to sell DeWils.
Wow.
Very nice.
Very cool. We kind of talked about this a little bit right at the beginning about the color trends and stuff like that, but how are trends set in kitchens? I mean, how does that start a certain trend? Like you're saying, that's going from grays to blues. How does that become a thing? And then how do you decide whether it's a trend worth pursuing in marketing, or if it was just like some fad thing that you don't think is legit?
That is a really good question. A lot of them start, I would say, you see the TV shows, which are always, it's kind of the catch-22. They're great to get the trends out there, but then they kind of set very idealistic ideas of how a remodel actually goes.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So you think that you can do all this stuff by yourself on a weekend for $5,000 and...
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, so trends though, we see them starting on like Southern California, stuff like that. We're gonna start seeing stuff go through. We like to pride ourselves on consistency and being very good at what we do. We don't chase all the trends all the time. We try to stick to our roots, know what we're good at, and then things that we do that you think are going to be long lasting. And so we like to say this is definitely a fashion industry, but we need to be, very cognizant of the fact that you don't want to throw things out there that people are going to regret having in their homes, a couple of years later. So we definitely see the trends going, and it's not always the gray trend has stuck around for almost 10 years.
Wow.
So it's definitely things, but you obviously too, you go through houses and you can see like in the 90s, it was that whitewashed maple. White's always tried and true. White's never going to go out of style. But it is interesting to see. So we just kind of watch and we try to get ahead of them and see. Like the navy, we were pretty much in the forefront of that.
Okay.
We saw that navy was going to be coming, and it's another neutral. So.
Very cool.
Are there any other, we were talking about colors. Are there colors that you find that are hot in general, or are they more maybe location based or geographically based? Maybe California likes a different color than the Northwest or Hawaii or something like that?
I think the biggest standout would be that New England always likes white.
Really?
Think about that kind of Cape Cod, Nantucket, Other stuff though, the West Coast and Hawaii and Alaska, they stay the same.
Really? Yeah. Is there anything that is in one particular color that you see, or it doesn't matter where you go besides white, that may play with your customers?
The true browns, just a good warm brown color. I'd say nothing crazy. One thing that we are really seeing happening right now too is black.
Really?
So black cabinetry, another neutral. So it's funny, the pendulum swings, away from that white, the grays and everything, but full black stained kitchens.
Wow.
And they're beautiful. And matte black with the engineered materials, the new materials that are coming out that are different than wood, very resilient and very durable. And so, but the matte blacks are coming. You're going to see that. You see that a lot in the appliance industry and surfaces and things like that. And now you can get it in cabinetry as well.
Very nice.
So in terms of marketing, how do advertising in general or shows such as the Parade of Homes, which you guys were just a part of, and word of mouth, how does that all play into the success of DeWils, and what is there a level of importance you would give each of those? What drives your business the most? Would it be home shows or word of mouth or?
Well, so what's interesting there, and where it's always confusing to people, is that we have the national brand that we have across the country that other people buy. Other dealerships carry our line. And then we have the local brand. So when my grandfather passed away 2 years ago, we took over the store. And so that's how we have the local DeWils Design Center.
Okay.
So the local stuff is what we do, the Parade of Homes and the events, local events, things like that. And that's great. So how it works for us though nationally is that we are now in a position that we have a showroom so we can truly walk our dealers' shoes. So we, for lack of a better term, can throw ish at the wall and see what sticks and then bring it back to them. So it's been actually really eye-opening and been, I think, beneficial for me as a marketing director to help everybody out at the rest of the country that I work with to say, hey, we've tried this, or, oh, I understand. I see the trials that you're going through. This isn't working. And so it's been really eye-opening. But with that, the home shows here locally are great. People love to walk through. It works really well for us because we have great relationships with our builders that we do work with. Tracy Dorio and his team are amazing. And so that was a really fun project. 17,000 people went through there. Yeah, we won Best Kitchen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's good. I think it's really good to help people get a grasp of what's happening. And then and what's interesting is you see that. So we did win Best Kitchen in that show this year. And it was back to the true brown, away from the white again, right? So it's that true warm brown, very Pacific Northwest, very lodgy, and that's seeming to be the trend. We're seeing people turn away from that, and that show and winning that, the Dorio's house winning that, kind of just further points that direction.
Cool.
So I'm in real estate and have been for a long time. So when you look at a kitchen, are you still seeing that has got a very high return on investment for the resale of a house? Not so much on a new build, obviously, but in this case, they came in and completely gutted it. And are you seeing people come in and expecting that to really affect the future resale of the house?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially the younger buyers, the people that are, I guess I hate to say millennials, that's not what it is, but the younger buyer, I'm not a millennial, so my age and younger, they want to go in and they don't want to have to remodel a lot. They want to go in and have it done. They want to see a beautiful kitchen. They want to see the open spaces and not have to put a ton of time and energy and money into fixing it. So I guess kitchen remodels are one of the top return on investments that you can do still, always can be. We always suggest building a kitchen and designing it how you want it, not to just flip a house.
Right.
But then, and it's also one of those things that you don't want to cut corners on because it can come back to bite you. This is a big piece of your home that's stuck in there. So your cabinetry goes wrong, then you're having to take out tile and countertops and things like that if it doesn't last right. So very important.
What would you say is the most challenging aspect of your job in particular as director of marketing? Is there something that presents an ongoing challenge for you?
Probably just keeping up with things and balancing everything.
Yeah.
Being a mom with 2 little kids and then having, we're in a lot of doing the local marketing and the national marketing. There's a lot of balls in the air. And so I think that's the most challenging part of it. Also trying to convey to people the difference between, or the importance of not skimping and not going to IKEA to buy your cabinet.
Right? No, absolutely.
It's hard. You get enticed by the price of that and you think, oh, what can the difference really be? And it's so much more than what it looks like. And so we think that we have great finishes and we work really hard on making it look good. It's behind what's even more important.
So you talk about staying ahead of things and whatnot. How do you are you traveling around the country to go to these different areas and learn at shows or something like that? How do you educate yourself on what the upcoming styles are and things like that?
You know, I don't travel as much anymore because of my kids. Mm-hmm. We do have a trade show that we go to we'll be there in February in Las Vegas, but even that I don't think is really the trends. A lot of it is online, social media, house, Facebook, Instagram. Instagram is huge now. Mm-hmm. And that I think that's our number one driver, making sure and seeing the beautiful photography. And you see that everywhere in those lifestyle bloggers and the lifestyle pages on Instagram that have millions of followers. And so I follow them too. Yeah. And you see the stuff like that modern farmhouse is huge. The black kitchens, the navies with the gold hardware. You see that. And so a lot of it is social media. That's where we're going to see a lot of stuff driving it.
That's incredible because 5 years ago you didn't say that.
No.
Sure. I mean, it was absolutely different than it is now.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd say Instagram is the number one thing. And that's one thing our number one advice to our dealers out there is photography. If you have $500 a month to spend on marketing and that's it, then put it all towards your photography and get beautiful, bright, high-resolution photography. Photos out there to share it, and share it for free on social media while you can until you have more money to put towards a marketing budget, because it's those beautiful, bright, crisp photos that inspire people and make them want to call you. And it helps your brand.
Absolutely.
So as the company's grown over the years, you kind of just alluded to it a little bit there with the Instagram thing, but how has your marketing strategy changed? Obviously now as we're going to the electronic age, you have the social media platforms to get your message out, but back before, let's say 5-10 years ago, before this kind of stuff was mainstream, what was your main source of marketing?
You know, back when I started, it was definitely a lot more of the print media, national magazines, literature, the literature that we did, and websites still. The websites were doing it. We have changed our branding and marketing approach as well, where we're trying to, instead of going toe-to-toe all the time with price and things like that, we're trying to be more of a boutique feel. So when we go against these national competitors, we're saying that, yeah, they can do these things, but we understand that everybody's different. One size doesn't fit all. So our literature is very broken apart now. You're selling and you're buying and you're using the tools that are for your particular customer. You're not overwhelming them. It's actually, though, we're spending a lot less on outright marketing endeavors because we're not doing those. National advertising in print magazine and stuff like that was expensive.
Very expensive.
Print advertising is expensive. So we've been able to get really creative, and again, going back to it's that social media where I can specifically target down to the zip code and a neighborhood. If I want a certain kitchen promotion, we see something that we're looking to try to increase an area, then we can really get down there and get detailed with it.
Very cool.
How long does a project, say, of this size, how long does that take to complete?
Well, I would say that, and I can't speak to that, and it depends on so many different factors with the remodel project. Who's doing it, if you're doing floors, are you changing out walls, plumbing, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So start to finish with us at DeWils, we typically say like 6 to 8 weeks would be, you come in from getting all that stuff. So, and our lead and production time is different. So it takes about 6 weeks after the order's placed to get your cabinets made, because we are truly custom. Mm-hmm. So they are built to order down to the 1/4 inch. Marketing's talking. And then but when you go in, it just depends on so many different things. But it takes 3 to 4 meetings. They go in, first going in to just kind of talk to somebody and get a scope. It's overwhelming. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of cabinet choices. There's a lot of counter choices. There's a lot of hardware choices. And so it's really good I think the more that a homeowner knows when they come in, the faster the process will go.
I'm sure, and one of the things that we talked about with Tracy when we interviewed him was the importance of the subs that he works with. I'm sure that is something that you guys is of utmost importance to you as well, having a very solid team around you to make sure that the projects go smoothly. Is that right?
Absolutely. We have in-house installers, and then we have another team when we're really busy that we trust implicitly. And then having the right remodelers. So when people come in, like at DeWils, we don't do plumbing and electrical and things like that. We'll do the typical. If you pull out, rip out, and put back in using the same footprint, we can help you. If you are changing flooring and things like that, it's going to be outside of our scope. But we have several companies that we work with that are great and that we trust and that are award-winning and really well-known in the area. So.
And it sounds like you guys all kind of stick together from, Tracy. Once you get in and know who is going to work well for you, you guys really stick together for years.
We try, yeah. I mean, you hope everybody keeps happy and does that. And loyalty, I think, is key. And we appreciate the relationships and partnerships that we do have here.
I'm sure.
And we do work, we think, with the best of the best. So.
Have you noticed a shift? You kind of talked about it a little bit ago. A shift towards synthetic materials from woods. I think, do you have that? Is there like a Phoenix? Am I saying that correctly? Is your new line? Okay.
Yeah, we have a Phoenix and a Lux and Metro. I'm actually, because just before we started this, I had the final on a brochures that we're going to print with. So that's coming out. We're having a new line called Contempo that will encompass all of the engineered materials. And it is something that we're seeing huge growth in because it's indestructible. Like you can get this, it's nanotechnology. So it's totally through, it's not like something that you can scratch and that it goes through, like it's solid, right? Mm-hmm. Nanotechnology, so and they have a beautiful blue, not that anybody can see, black, the matte black that we were talking about, but if you can take a Sharpie and write on it and then buff it out with a magic eraser and it will come right off. If you scratch it, it'll come right off with a magic eraser. It's just indestructible. And so that is one thing that's great, especially you want that white look or a painted look. I mean, paint is paint. You're putting it in a kitchen that's wet and has heat and
moisture and
right. My family, kids running lawnmowers into the corners of the cabinets. Right. Dogs scratching on things and spilling water bowls and it gets everywhere. So it's really durable. So that is something that we are seeing a huge trend towards.
Now, is that still like behind the finish itself? Is that still a wood door? That's something that you're basically molding a synthetic composite material to?
Some of it is, and one of them I think is like all the way through, and then the other it's an MDF core.
Okay.
So and then it goes on there and.
Gotcha.
And then and it still goes on our drawer box, which we use an exterior grade plywood. So we don't. It's good. A lot of other companies just use. What is that stuff called? Particle board, which turns, if it gets wet, it's shredded wheat, right? So we use plywood, but not even that, it's exterior grade plywood.
Very nice. So when you're talking about the green materials, are you seeing your customers come in and is the green aspect of the ecological side of it important to them as well, or is it more they like the durability that you're talking about, things like that, or are they, we talk about millennials and how important the environment and things like that, is that something that kind of drives them as well, using maybe bamboo or something like that?
Honestly, I think that would be the cherry on top if you could do that, but people are not, it's not driving the buying process for the most part. If you can feel good about what you're buying, that's great. And we tried it. We're California carb compliant. We're 4-star Japanese certified. We all of our sawdust goes to local livestock.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. So we're really good. We've always been very good about sustainability. Before it was cool. And
that's exactly what I'm talking about. That is so important to people now. For you to even be able to say that is awesome.
But they don't. I don't think it drives the buying process. They want to do it, but they're not going to pay 50% more to do
so. Yeah, there you go.
It's just not going to happen. So we try to offer that and do that and be conscious, but people aren't going to. It's not driving the buying process, in my opinion. There's a few I can think of here and there. There's actually a blogger on Instagram that drove it. And we get a lot of followers from her.
Really?
So, other than that, though, I don't see it driving the buying process for the most part. But we still do it.
Very nice. That's one of those things that's, I'm sure that as we continue on, that will ebb and flow as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the synthetic lines, like the Phoenix, what we talked about, have there been predecessors to that, or is that kind of synthetic application fairly new on the market? Because you talk about the nanotechnology, but I'm sure there was synthetic stuff of some sort before that. And then, so now as we come to the present time, do you find that synthetic is gaining traction and, in terms of your typical wood finishes in terms of popularity, basically, is what I'm getting at. You see it catching up in popularity with the traditional wood?
No, I don't think it ever will, just because, you know, it typically takes a modern feel and a modern vibe, I guess, and not everybody likes that.
Right.
And so, no, we see a mixed use of it, though, where we'll see, you know, the warm walnut with, I like walnut with, like, black is amazing. It's beautiful. So, and the old stuff wasn't as good. And so we are seeing, and this is such an improvement. And so we are seeing that. It is increasing. I don't think it's ever going to eclipse or be the same as, but it's increasing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the most challenging part of your job?
We were just kind of touched that a little earlier. Trying to balance it all and just,
I'm sorry,
yeah. Keep track of it all. And then one of the things, though, too, on that is trying to keep up with the trends and what we should be doing and all the people nationally, and trying to help with them and trying to make sure that we are getting our message out correctly, because it's constantly changing and people's tastes are constantly changing and the way that they want to get things is constantly changing. One thing, though, I have to touch on, because we're going back, was the marketing stuff. And you asked what we did now and what we've done then, and you do see that return, or a lot of people are going to the social media and online and things like that. But one thing, and what we've really pushed in this last marketing campaign that we've done, is people are going back to holding things, touching things, printed materials, but we're very big on the tactile feel of it now. So we do a lot of the specialty soft touch stuff, and like our cards are of like a linen material. So everything that we do is tactilely interesting. Which is, so when they're holding it, and now when you leave here and you start to see, if you pick up brochures and stuff like that, we do a lot of the soft touch. And so sometimes when you pick things up, people just will start feeling it. And it's just got that subconscious feel of, this is nice, I like this. And so that is one thing that we are seeing a return to, is people like to pick things up. So while I say that, you know, we went away from print advertising, and it was cheaper, we may be having to go back to that, because people really are wanting to hold stuff again.
And one other quick question, not that people can see it on camera, but with the navy blue on the island versus a different color, are you seeing that a lot with contrasting colors, or maybe like an island like this, an island having an accent color that's different from the rest of the kitchen? Is that a pretty big thing? Yeah,
and the three tones. We see a lot of the black with the natural alder and white paint. Same with the navies with the natural alder. So 3 tones.
Wow.
And 2, but yes, all the time. It's not very often that we see probably a
all monotone, one straight thing.
Yeah, we don't see it very often.
It's too boring now, right?
Yeah.
Well, you got to make it interesting. Do you find that, you know, we talked about the social media and the TV shows and things like that. Do you ever find just dealing with the customer and having to fight what they see on those shows? I mean, I know that in my world, I literally have to almost not beat it out of them, but really try to let them know that no, this is not reality. What you see on Chip and Joanna it's not just poof, all of a sudden we have this beautiful kitchen. It's going to be hard work, and it's going to be kind of a pain in the neck sometimes.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of that goes on. I think that people don't understand how disruptive it can be.
Oh boy.
And it's not cheap.
No.
To remodel. So yeah, I would say that there's a lot of that people, I think people are getting better. And we were on a show, Brother versus Brother, which is, you know, the Property Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
The twins. One of our dealers was on the show in San Francisco, and they actually were one that they had real budgets, they had real timelines. I was impressed. So it was something that I thought that they portrayed it really well.
Wow, that's because in the world of TV, that's kind of they want to paint this beautiful picture that it can all be wrapped up in 22 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to give everyone an idea that it's going to take 8 weeks and you're going to be living in your brother-in-law's basement or something like that.
Yeah, they did that. It was good. Real budgets, they were doable. Actually, the kitchen that was ours was all black Phoenix. So it was the matte black that went through there with natural bamboo.
Wow,
that's very nice. So do you have anything upcoming that you would like to, you know, give everyone even more information about than we've talked about today, or anything like that?
You know, we don't have any. Well, we're in the midst of building our new showroom and corporate headquarters.
Really?
So everything's going to be down the street. Well, I'll be one campus now. So where our factory is, we'll have a now I don't know, 15,000 square foot showroom. And our corporate training center and corporate offices will all be there. So 17 new displays. It's gorgeous. It's very Pacific Northwest industrial. So that's coming up. We should be open this winter. We're gonna have a really big grand opening for that. And
very nice. I'll try to get some information so that when I put the show notes up, we can have that. And maybe it's down the road. We can help you promote that so that folks can that are watching or listening have an idea how to get there and check that kind of stuff out for you, because it sounds like it'll be fun.
Yeah, we want it to be big. And then coming up sooner than that, we have our 5th annual Girls Night Out event that's coming up in our showroom. And so our theme this year is Dreaming of a Pink Christmas, and we'll be raising money for breast cancer support for women in Clark County. Our mom was just diagnosed with breast cancer on October 1st.
Sorry to hear that.
And so, yeah, that sucked.
Yes.
She's going to do great, and she's just, her motto is grit and grace, and that's who she is. So she's going to get through this. We're going to have a rough 6 months, and, I think that it will make everybody, all of us, kind of get back to what's important in life. Mm-hmm. But, so our girls' night, we weren't going to do it because we're kind of in a transition with a new showroom, and we've done it before, and it's a lot of work. But now that we have kind of a reason to get out there and raise money and support women. So what we're trying to do is raise money. There's these new things called cryo caps, that are ice caps that women with going through chemotherapy it saves their hair.
Really?
And so it makes makes your head cold, and it prevents the hair falling out. Protects the follicle, I guess. Mm-hmm. But they're expensive. And wigs, and like the specialty bras if you have a mastectomy. Cancer is expensive, and insurance doesn't cover a lot of it. And so we would like to be able to raise funds for women in Clark County to get them through this, because that sucks, going through that. So let's try to make it, where you can feel good and have these other outside things that can help get you through it and know that other people care. So we're trying to rally together, but that's December 4th. Tickets are on sale right now. You can get them on
Facebook. Our wives are going.
Yay, good. Yeah, and it's really fun. So we have a baker based out of Camas that's coming in, and she's doing demonstrations. We have a chef that does live demos and lots of yummy food. There's a florist in there that does centerpieces, and you take them home. So it's a $25 ticket, and then all of the stuff is included. You get pink champagne. Wow. Lots of really cool vendors, stuff like that. There's a fashion show with C. Jolie, so that's lots of fun.
I'll put some notes in the show notes for that as well, so that if are tickets still available for it? Yeah,
we'll sell out. We sell it. We cap it at $250 because we just don't want it to be too crazy for people who attend, and then it's no fun if you can't move. If you're packed like sardines. So we cap it at $250, and I think we've sold almost 100 so far.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Very nice. So I'll have that up on the website so that folks can go to the website, purchase, or at least get a link to go and purchase those tickets from you guys so that we can check that kind of stuff out. Wes, do you have anything else?
I got nothing. Is there anything else you'd like to leave us with that we didn't touch on our own?
No, I think thanks guys. This was fun.
Well, thank you a lot. We appreciate
it.
Yeah, you bet.
Well, thank you very much. Well, everyone, this has been Kinetic Chaos Business Podcast number 2. We thank Brianne so much for spending the time with us, and we hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll have that information on the website so you can check it out, and links to DeWils and all of the wonderful things you guys do, and try to, maybe even get some stuff for the Tokyo. And I just think that's kind of neat that you guys are all over the world.
Yeah.
We think of it as just a local company, but to see that it's a worldwide company is very neat. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Everyone have a good evening.
See ya.
The podcast is over, but everyone's still watching out there. Steve Nelson says, bring back oak and brass.
Thank you, Steve Nelson.
And your mom says, you did great.
Thanks, Mom.